Hey everyone, this is Dr. Sapneil Parikh from Sapneil Tutoring Incorporated. Thank you for coming and visiting our page and watching this video. We were established in 2010 out of Miami, Florida, and since 2010 we've grown to 8 locations from Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County, where we focus on one-on-one in-person tutoring and also virtual tutoring as well throughout the state and also abroad and for some of our own other national accounts as well. We're really passionate about in-person tutoring and customized learning programs. If you ever have to get in touch with us for any type of test prep, subject-specific tutoring, AP prep, IB prep, whatever it is, graduate school prep, we have a team of people that can help you. Our number is 305-968-6364. We're open 7 days a week, or you could email us at contact@sapneiltutoring.com. The information will be below. Please don't hesitate to like our page, subscribe, send us an email, visit our Instagram page. All that information will be down below. We'd love to have a program advisor reach out to you and see how we can help you navigate this pathway so it's a lot easier for parents and students. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about additional HSPT strategies. We had a previous video that just kind of skimmed the surface of what the HSPT was and some of the more important strategies. We're going to go a little bit more in depth into HSPT strategies. We'll also issue a link at the bottom that you can find this attachment for additional testing strategies for the HSPT. So definitely please subscribe to that, and we'd love to kind of see some comments and some feedback from what you guys think about some of these strategies. So as you know, the HSPT is a Catholic high school placement test. It can be a closed or an open HSPT. It's generally closed, and the school has the autonomy to score the test, and they make their own scale. So the sections on the test we talked about, one of them was the verbal skills section, and so they test on a couple of things, and so we've broken it up into about 4 categories. And so the first one is synonyms, which of course many of you may know. It's a question format that's asking what most nearly means or what's most similar to the meaning of a word. Suggested study skills are, use of flashcards to help with vocabulary memory and vocabulary definitions, back and forth, the definition, the prefix or the suffix, and then also the name or the term or the vocabulary definition that applies to that synonym, and maybe some additional words there. Learn prefixes, roots, and suffixes. That's very important, as just mentioned. The suggested strategies are, before reading the choices, write a sample synonym for the term that increases your vocabulary retention. Then read the options and determine which is most similar to your guess. Underline the prefix, root, or suffix and write its meaning. Then see which option best matches this. That's number 1. Next, antonym. That means the opposite of. Suggested study skills are also very similar. Flashcards for vocabulary mastery. Learn prefixes, roots, and suffixes. Suggested strategies. Before reading the choices, write a simple antonym for the term. Then read the answer choices and cross off any options that are not similar to your idea, and choose the option that is opposite your idea. And so that's one way to do it. If it's an antonym, I like writing similar words that are synonyms and marking all those off. And then whatever's not that I haven't marked off, I know automatically is my antonym. So you can do it either way, but just stick to one way so you don't get confused. Next is underline the prefix, root, and or suffix and write its meaning. And then cross off any options, obviously, that don't make any sense. The next type of question is going to be an analogy question, and that format is going to be a blank space is to a blank space as a blank space is to that answer. So it's generally a comparison of 2 things. Create a simple sentence relating the first 2 words in the question. And so that's one of the suggested strategies. And then the next one is apply this sentence to the 3rd word in the question and each of the answer choices to see which fits best, keeping the word in order the same as what was used in the first 2 words. Now the analogy and the antonym, those strategies can be a little bit difficult. So I do want to open up this forum if people are watching this video on giving us some examples, so we can kind of create a forum of feedback from there. So definitely kind of, if anybody wants to start that and put an example out there, feel free to do that. The next one is grouping. Question format. Which word does not belong with the others? And so what the suggested strategy here is choose 2 words from the answer choices that are certainly linked together. Determine the specific relationship of these 2 words And from the remaining 2 words, decide which fits better into this relationship. Next type is ranking, question format. 3-sentence paragraph with the last sentence stating if the first 2 statements are true, the third is, so on and so forth. The suggested strategy here is create a visual representation of the first 2 sentences using single letters to represent the items. Then put your pencil down and determine if the 3rd sentence fits into your visual representation. For example, does it fit with the logic of your diagram? Does it contradict your diagram? Or if you cannot determine its relationships to your diagram, choose the answer that states some type of uncertainty. Next, we talk a little bit about overall strategy. First, you have to identify which question type it is. Does it fall in one of those 5 categories? Synonym, antonym, analogy, grouping, or ranking. Then you want to use a specific strategy, that question type. You'll find your strengths, you'll find your weaknesses, get better at your strengths, and work on your weaknesses. Reach out to us if you need help on the weaknesses. Someone can help you, and we can really target an area with specific worksheets and application modules that help you on your weaknesses, and it won't take a lot of time. So definitely take that and reach out to us. We'll list our number below, but that's really important. If you don't reach out to us, definitely go online and search some of those techniques, but don't think that you're just going to get it. Reach out for help. The next section is mathematics. There's a conceptual section, 14 items, consists of testing your knowledge of certain concepts by asking questions related to number and numeration, measurements, geometry, algebra, and probability and statistics. There's a procedural section that's about 28 items that measures your ability to perform in the following areas: numbers and numeration, measurements, geometry, algebra, and stats and probability. Then there's applications. 22 items there. How well do you apply math concepts in the following areas: numbers and numeration, measurements, geometry, and algebra and stats and probability. The quant skills section is sequence, 22 items. When solving some of these sequence problems, focus on identifying and recognizing a pattern. It's very important. You will be given a set of numbers and asked to choose the one that logically fits a pattern of sequence. Remember, the numbers can include both negative and positive numbers to concentrate on understanding the question in its entirety. Reasoning, 13 items. Reasoning involves bringing together a series of skills you learned over time to solve a problem. You may find it to be complicated and involving several steps. Take your time to understand and evaluate each problem before choosing the correct answer. Next, geometric comparison. 8 items here. You will use your geometry skills to find the best answer in comparing geometric shapes and shaded areas. Pay close attention to each multiple choice answer since it will involve using a multi-step solution to come up with the best answer. Non-geometric comparison. There's 9 items here. And so this section of the test involves using your math skills to compare and solve multi-step equations that do not involve geometry. Both the equations and answers involve complex problem solving, so be sure to take your time to understand what is being asked. The next section, reading section. We broke it into comprehension and vocabulary. Comprehension, 40 items. The following will be tested in the section, vocab and context. Literal comprehension, such as details, cause and effect. Inferences, main idea or title, drawing conclusions, reasoning and implicit characteristics. Critical comprehension, author purpose, compare contrast, qualifications, prediction, fact or fiction. Try to focus on opening or closing sentences of each paragraph to comprehend the main idea. Pay attention to keywords and use context clues. As you go through the questions, consider eliminating the answers that do not relate so that you can focus on remaining possible answer choices. This will help in managing your time. Vocabulary, 22 items. You want to grasp meaning from context and understanding multi-measuring words. So when studying for this section of test practice, develop word awareness. Use context clues and word parts, prefixes, suffixes, and roots. We talked about it in synonyms and analogies and antonyms. Try to keep a dictionary handy or a thesaurus and make studying words and meanings fun by trying playing games, putting it in a sentence and an example that you would remember. If you can do that, you're going to remember your term or your definition much better. Always use an example or a sentence. The next section is the language section, which is the final section, and it's punctuation, 11 items. You'll be asked to identify grammar errors, punctuation errors. Remember, punctuation is what we use to build sentences. It is made up of signs and symbols, commas, colons, semicolons, dashes. Know the importance of each of them. That show us how to read these sentences and what are their unique terms. Commonly used punctuation includes the period, the comma, semicolon, colon, question mark, exclamation point, dash, hyphen, quotation marks, brackets, parentheses, apostrophe, quotation marks, and ellipses. My recommendation is write a sentence out with each of those quotation marks or each of those grammar marks, and then understand and identify them on your own by writing a sentence out. And so when you read a passage, you're able to understand and identify why it's being used in that passage and what's the importance of it. And it gives you some clarification and maybe it causes you to focus in on that paragraph also. Very important. Capitalization, 3 items. We capitalize the first word of a sentence, titles, and proper nouns. And in this section, we ask to identify the capitalization error. Keep in mind, there may not be an error, so read carefully. Spelling, 10 items. Try to remember the basic spelling rules you learned in class, such as I before E, except after C. While studying, keep a dictionary handy as well, and also make sure you understand prefixes and suffixes. Next one is usage, 26 items. This asks you to identify correct and incorrect usage of words, including nouns and pronouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, and other parts of speech. Make sure to study the parts of speech and be able to identify so that you are familiar with this portion of language text. Composition, 10 items. We'll test your knowledge in formulating and communicating written language. Applying the rules of the above language subsections will be very helpful in successfully answering composition questions. All very important information. We hope nothing but the best on HSPT and hope these strategies were helpful. We definitely invite some comments, some examples on some of the things that we did, and we want to continue this conversation. Definitely look out for the next extended videos on SSAT strategies and going through the test, and ISEE strategies and going through the test. Once again, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our office. We're available 7 days a week. Our number is 305-968-6364, or you can reach us by email at contact@sapneiltutoring.com. The information will be listed below, and one of our program advisors will be happy to help you. We focus on one-on-one in-person tutoring as well as virtual tutoring in the state of Florida and also nationally and abroad. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you for your time and have a great day.